Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being with us. A happy Monday. I trust that your day has started off well. It is the 29th of August 2022. The show is Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Goto, and it is nice to have you on board this morning. I'll start with bringing us the latest as far as the news headlines is concerned by going through the leading newspapers this morning. We start with the Standard newspaper. And the main headline, Where Lies the Truth? Leaders continued trading accusations yesterday on who did what to impact the result of the presidential election. The Supreme Court begins hearings this week, with the verdict expected to be delivered on September the 5th. The story is on page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 on the Standard newspaper. How today's elections will tilt power balance. That story is on page 10. Did girl 15 kill her 3 siblings and cousin? That is another story there on page 14. Pakistan asks for aid after floods. That is on page 29. And then we go to the Daily Nation. The main headline, Art of the Goof. A petition here, a revelatory affidavit there, a press briefing here, and the skeletons of these elections have finally been revealed. The chaos, disorder and mess at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission this morning mirror the literary works for Sir Pelham Glenville Woodhouse, one of the most acclaimed English humorists of the British imperial era. That elections are a serious matter. So how did one of the most important institutions in the Republic degenerate into such bedlam, and can it ever regain credibility? That story is on page 6 and 7. It is Malala versus Barasa, Omar versus Nassir. That story is on page 10 again. I will keep word on Mudavadi and Wetangula, Ruto tells Western. If all goes well, the Mulembe nation will produce 2 of the most powerful men in Ruto's government, the chief government minister and the speaker of the National Assembly. The story is on page 10. New MP and MCA house bonuses to cost about 10 billion Kenya shillings. That story is on the back page of the Daily Nation. The Star newspaper, I met Chebukati at secret venue. Tuju claims it was the IEBC chairman who initiated the confidential meeting in Karen area. That story is on page 6. Azimio and Kenya Kwanza face off in Mombasa and Kakamega, and we shall look at that ongoing elections. I think a couple of places today they're having the elections, of course, 2 counties and other constituencies, and Kenyans do not get to vote on those areas during the voting on the 9th of August for different reasons, but majority of that was because of the mix-up on the ballot papers. I have confidence in Supreme Court bench, says Ruto. That story is on page 8. Split IEBC chiefs file rival responses to Odinga petition. That is on page 4 and 5. I'm not shaken. I want the truth for posterity. Raila. That story is on page 8. And let me just take us very quickly on the other headlines from across the continent of Africa and others from outside. Newsday from Zimbabwe. Chamisa calls for UN supervised polls. At this point, I've seen some Kenyans saying that perhaps this could be the right way to go about it, even here in the country. The Daily News, ZANU PF best CCC in Gokwe. And then New Vision, Museveni reassures teachers on salary. And the Nation from Nigeria, Obasanjo, I have not preferred candidate but national agenda. The Guardian, Obasanjo meets Abdul Salami, IEBC to unveil 2023 agenda soon. The Citizen from Tanzania, CEOs happy with pro-business policies backed. All right, that is the main headline. And Mwinyi lashes out of useless anti-graft agency. Okay, and the Daily News from Tanzania, Dar facelift lived lives. That is what we have there. And the Daily Telegraph from the UK, Prime Minister, don't give up on green energy. The Guardian from the UK as well revealed Black and Asian cancer patients wait longer for diagnosis. Okay, I think some facets there of racism in the UK. I'm not really surprised about that. So you're now up to date. Thank you so much, and a very good morning to you. We are joined by Kiptanui Savania from Nakuru County. Kiptanui, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam. Good morning to my brother Douglas. Good morning to Dr. David, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from. Miriam, I'm joining you from Nakuru City, and I want to bring you up to date that today we are having the by-elections in Rongai constituency. Miriam, in the morning, the MP for elect for Nakuru Town East, Mr. Kigaria, was chased away from the polling stations. He was actually going around bribing voters and squandering as an agent. And people of Rongai have declared that they are going to have peaceful elections around the whole constituency, but they don't want the outsider to come and interfere with their elections. The Gigaria was actually suspected to have been bribing people the whole night and was there as an agent for United Democratic Party, and he has been chased. It is all over. People in Rongai are so keen so that their votes will not be stolen, Miriam, and they have actually chased him away. Thank you.
Okay, and we shall get into the details of that story because I want to know more. And I think earlier on I saw Raymond Moy, the current MP for Rongai, give a press conference, and I think he lamented on the same, but we shall get into the details very shortly. We're also joined by Douglas Kirimi from Meru County. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to my friends Kiptanui Savenia, Jevan Karanja, and the rest of our panelists across the world. Thank you for having me on the show, Miriam.
Okay, nice to have you. And last but not least, we do have Jevan Karanja from Nanyuki, is it? Jevan, a very good morning to you.
Exactly, Miriam is from Nanyuki. Good morning to you, good morning to our viewers, and my friends Kiptanui and Douglas. As always,
okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know why in my head I felt as if I was saying Nyahururu, but it is Nanyuki. Thank you so much. And we had a bit of a technical hitch there. So we shall look at the rest of the headlines at 11 a.m. But first, let's just look at what is happening this morning and the by-elections that are taking place. First of all, in regards to the by-elections, not by-elections, the elections that are taking place today, apparently, what do you call him? Mbetsa, his full names, I'm forgetting. Apparently, he made a post saying that people of Kakamega, weekly for Paranya, like he said that people should vote for Malala, but I think I've seen some people, posting again that Wycliffe Oparanya said his account was hacked, and so that post was not by him, that purportedly was telling the people of Kakamega to vote for Cleophas Malala this morning. I don't know what you make of this, Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. I believe that in the end, that the people of Kakamega will also know that with technology is not infallible. Technology can always fail, but for people to also purport that Wycliffe Ambetsa or Paranya can campaign for Cleo Marara 24 hours to elections when he is a deputy party leader of ODM, and having spent so many years popularizing ODM in the region, and also campaigning for Fernandez Barasa, and then 24 hours or 12 hours to the D-Day. He says that please wake up tomorrow and vote for Cleo Marara. Everyone can read mischief in that. And also, how many people on Facebook can be influenced by such a post? Remember, Kakamega is a rural county. There are so many people that he has to convince in less than 12 hours or less than 24 hours in the rural areas for them to be able to vote for Cleo Marara. For Facebook generation that does not even vote, we are told that people that are registered to vote, majority of them are 35 years and above, which also confines me to the generation that is not even registered to vote. So, Miriam, we treat that as a political nonsense that was spent out on Facebook, and it is as such, because at the end of the day, Facebook people do not vote. If they voted, they would have made Peter Kenneth of the infamous Tunaweza Make of 2013. He had millions and millions of voters in Facebook, on Facebook, and everywhere people were saying that their president is the Honorable Peter Kenneth. But in the end, they could not vote for the Honorable Peter Kenneth. They embarrassed him. He got less than 200 votes in that general election in 2013, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And I've been sent a link here that even Oparanya's son, he calls himself Oparanya Jr. on Twitter, and he's saying Governor Oparanya supports Fernandez Barasa for governor. This account has been hacked and the relevant team is working on pulling this post down. Remain forecast. It's very interesting how much social media perhaps has power to influence a lot of things, especially politics. So what do you make of this, Kiptanui Sivhania?
Miriam, thank you. One of the tools during elections, Miriam, is propaganda, and it spreads so much. And Miriam, somebody was telling me this morning, if Oparanya's Facebook page can be hacked, what of the IEBC servers? Miriam, I don't know, it has come to a situation in this country, Miriam, where social media has been used to bully, people are creating fake accounts.
But Kiptanui, can we really compare social media and the IEBC servers? I want to believe the IEBC servers have better protection.
Well,
I want to believe that.
I don't know. Maybe.
And if somebody accessed it, it must have been through the help of allegedly
IEBC.
People in there. Yeah, I don't think it will be easy to hack into.
Maybe it is not very easy actually. Maybe you are supposed to be helped. But this one of social media, Miriam, I think people are hacking. All sometimes, most of the time, you see people complaining on their Facebook pages that my account has been hacked. So this one for Paranya was hacked, and I don't think it will bring any impact, Miriam, because people are now voting, and most of the people in village are using Mudekamwisi, these phones which cannot access actually the internet. Thank you.
But I've seen some Azimio politicians like Robert Alai saying, Oparanya should stop lying about his account being hacked. He might as well have posted that post, and now I think after the backlash he's coming out to say that account has been hacked. But his own son is saying that account was hacked, and a couple of other people that are also key in Azimio coalition have come out and said, hey, that tweet is not true because Oparanya has called me to let me know his account has been hacked, but they're working in restoring that and pulling down that post. Jevan, what do you make of all this?
Yeah, thank you very much, Miriam. We are in a technological era and a lot is happening. We have claims that the IEBC portal was interfered with. Therefore, we can read mischief from this post that was done in the Governor Wycliffe Oparanya's page. But all said and done, Miriam, in Kenya, our politicians are very tricky to some extent. We cannot trust them fully with what they are saying, because now is 1 hour and almost 30 minutes. The post is still in his page. What is he doing? He need to have deleted the account or gone to a cyber and got an IT guru who will help him to retrieve his page. Other pages, Miriam, I have seen people whose accounts have been hacked. They don't go for more than 20 minutes. What message? Why is he not active to ensure that he brings down the account or the post? To some extent, Miriam, our politicians, we cannot trust them 100 to 100. I'm not saying that the account has not been hacked, but he could have moved swiftly to reclaim the account and drop the post. It's almost 2 hours and the post is still hanging in his account. And I think, Miriam, at the end of the day, the post might not have big impact, but it's not portraying a good image to the character of one Wycliffe Oparanya.
Okay, and I'm not very tech savvy, but I do understand to some good level, because what I've seen now, all these social media networks, I think they've increased a level of security checks before you even are able to log in and change the details and the passwords. It's not easy. They will require phone numbers. It's not as easy as it were, Javen.
Yeah, sure, Miriam, especially for a verified account, because he has shared on his verified account. Therefore, this is an account that is so much protected. There are a lot of security features that you have to access in order to authenticate the use of this account. Therefore, I think those who are reading mischief, Miriam, they may not be wrong, but to some extent, we are raising an eyebrow and asking Oparanya to move swiftly if he is sure his account has been hacked, to report to Facebook and they bring down the post. Why take too long if he is sure that he is not sending that message to the people of Kakamega?
Okay, all right.
Miriam,
Yes, go ahead.
I want to also add something on top of that. Jevan Karanja and Douglas, when these politicians are busy campaigning, who is managing their accounts? Those maybe they are they are blockers, isn't it? Oparanya has no time even of accessing his account. Maybe even his blockers have actually tipped something small to write that one.
Okay, all right. But at this point, we just go with Oparanya's words. He says his account was hacked, so we don't have proof against his word. So we'll take that. Okay, let's move on to other matters concerning today's elections that are taking place. The election of 4 parliamentary members today could tilt the scales in determining which of the 2 leading coalitions becomes the majority and minority in the National Assembly. A mix-up at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission prevented voters in Rongai, Kitui Rural, Pokot South, and Kachaliba in Nakuru, Kitui, and West Pokot counties from choosing their MPs with the rest of the country on August 9th. The 4 elections are crucial for President-elect William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza Alliance, as well as Raila's Odinga's Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, because a majority win will help the political formation gain control for the National Assembly. And before we go very far, because we know we had our elections on the 9th, and it is the first time in the history of a multi-democracy where Kenyans have had to go out and vote, that we have had this kind of a mix-up. And of course, IEBC has come out and given an explanation that I don't think has been very convincing to a lot of Kenyans. Personally, I'm not really convinced. So even as we have these elections that did not happen because of the mix-up in the ballot papers, at some point, when are we supposed to hold IEBC accountable, at least for this right here? Because we can't just let something like this happen, sweep it under the carpet, assume it's just human error, and yet they had a responsibility to go to Greece. They only have one job, to make sure everything that is being printed and packaged and being brought to the country has the correct details, but they failed to do that. So is it something that also after the petition and all this is done, that we really have to question IEBC over, Jeevan? Douglas. Okay, Kiptanu, go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Douglas is here. Go ahead, and then Kiptanu, you can come in.
I believe that people should be wary of the tactics that have been employed by Mr. Wafula Chebukati to be able to read this IEBC and also conduct the general election. And at the end of the day, Mr. Wafula Chebukati made sure that there is a mix-up in Kakamega and Mombasa and a few other electoral areas, constituencies, so that he can be able to cover up his bigger plan. And at the end of the day, Mr. Wafula Chebukati refused to gazette or include the candidate who was also gazetted by was supposed to be gazetted through a court order, and also Mr. Wafula Chebukati refused to include him way before the ballot papers were printed for Nyaki West ward in North Imenti, Meru County. He blatantly refused to make sure that that candidate has been gazetted and also ballot papers printed with his name on. That candidate went to court and got a court injunction to stop that election. And today, those people are going to elections today. Previously, the BAS candidate had won that seat on 9th of August, and I understand he has also gone to court to stop that election, saying that he is the legitimate winner and all that. These mistakes by IEBC are not in isolation. They are deliberate mistakes from the IEBC, and IEBC themselves know what they are doing. And in the end, Miriam, when the push comes to the shove, the IEBC has to shoulder the responsibility of stopping the will of the people from happening on 9th of August, and also for helping politicians gain mileage. It is as if Mr. Wafula Chebukati had foreseen what is going to happen at the Supreme Court, Miriam, so that these cases can be used also as a litmus test. And I believe from my perspective, Miriam, that we the people have an opportunity to stop Mr. Wafula Chebukati and also hold him responsible in the commission for what they have done to the people of Kenya. Remember, their candidates have said before that Mr. Chebukati and the commission should shoulder the responsibility of carrying on, of paying these people their expenses and campaign resources that they have spent so far. The delays are not from the candidates, the delays are from the commission. In Mombasa, Sarif Nassir and also Omar and Fernandez Barasa and Kereo Malala of Kakamega and other places like the constituency areas and also the ward. IEBC should pay these people so that IEBC can run a lesson going into the future. IEBC told us they were even taking care of presidential agents who are being sent to, like us in Greece, so that they can see and supervise the printing of these ballot papers. At what point did IEBC stop verification of the printing of the ballots so that the Kakamega ones and Mombasa ones and others were mixed up that they cannot be able to conduct elections? At what point did the people that they are stationed at the Lycos printing area or in Greece leave Greece, Miriam? And we were even shown photos of IEBC officials and commissioners receiving these ballot papers at the JKI, very happy. And as they also sent these ballot papers to various warehouses across the country, they were saying they are verifying to make sure that this election is tamper-proof and it is foolproof. And this election is going to be free, fair, transparent, democratic, and verifiable. Miriam, this election is not fair because in Mombasa, there are people who are decided to vote on 9 that are not going to come out today and vote. There are people who had been mobilized by Fernandez Barasa and Kereo Malala in Kakamega that are not even going to come out and vote. So my issue is, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, personally, and the commissioners and the IEBC should carry the cross and be made to pay these people and make sure that on that note, that these things are not going to happen in future, Miriam. Remember, this is a commission that is trusted with billions of dollars to conduct an election in this country, Miriam. And this voter in this country, at the average cost of a voter per ballot paper, and to make sure that you vote successfully, in the US and other developing countries is about $4 to $5. In Kenya, it's about $17 to $20. Imagine we spend over 2,000 shillings on one vote. And Mr. Chebukati decides that they are going to mess that because of a political process or because they have been bribed to do so. I believe this is an ill motive from Mr. Wafula Chebukati. It was intentional and he has to pay for that. And another perspective, Miriam, that I've also come to realize with the time, even as UDA and Kenya Kwanza and Azimio Umoja flexes their muscles, is that out of the very vacant positions that are being filled today, Azimio Umoja might get 2 positions, and the rest will be carried by UDA. If Raymond Moi, the gods decide that it's about time or he has to stay, Azimio takes the day. If in Kituo Rural, UDA takes the day, then I believe that an end for Azimio as we know it has also come. But I believe Kalonzo Musyoka is going to deliver the Kituo Rural seat. And also I believe that the Bas Party in Meru can be able to deliver the seat if Medekari Ntuli is not going to camp there today because he has camped there for the last 4 days. I don't believe that Kiraito Murungi's party is going to survive the onslaught from Medekari Ntuli. I've dealt with Medekari Ntuli. I believe that all the seat is going to UDA. And also for Mukuru Kwanjenga, I believe it's going to Azimio Umoja because Nairobi City County is a stronghold of Azimio Umoja. But for Kachiriba in West Pokot and others, I have no words to write on. And also for Mombasa, it's become a very tight race. For me, I believe Sharif Nassir is going to carry the day, but with a small margin. And in Kakamega, Fernandez Barasa is going to carry the day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And just a news update, Governor Johnson Sakaja bans mkokotenis in Nairobi CBD and orders impounded bodabodas to be released. Yeah, I think if he's able to clean up the CBD, especially from Moi Avenue coming back to Tomboy and going down to River Road, I think it will be nice. But I don't know how the hustlers are feeling this morning, because now Mkokoteni has been banned from the CBD. But back to our conversation, I keep Tanui Savannah before I bring in Javan. IEBC and of course the mix-up of the ballot papers that has necessitated for these elections to take place today and not on the 9th like the rest of the places across the country. IEBC must explain this after we are done with whatever else is going on. This country knows an explanation. This is the first time this has happened.
Thank you, Miriam. It is actually so sad for these politicians, Miriam, who have invested on campaigns, and then with the time when the elections is being carried out, Miriam, you are told your people are not able to vote for you. Miriam, I want to join my brother Douglas that these politicians have used a lot of money, Miriam, and you see during that time when we are going to vote, Miriam, most of the mobilization was done from the MCA, Miriam, to the presidential. So somebody like Malala and then Nassir in Mombasa, Miriam, might have used a lot of resources, Miriam, to mobilize these people and other politicians like Raymond and others, to mobilize them to come and vote today. Who is going to compensate them? Miriam, this is a total incompetence. This is a total proof that IEBC could not manage these elections, Miriam. And in future, if we are not going to rectify these things, Miriam, we are going to plunge this country to chaos. Miriam, somebody, when we were voting on 9 August, Miriam, it was a public holiday in this Republic of Kenya. People could travel all the way from Mombasa to Kakamega to vote. Tell me, Miriam, how much from Kakamega? Somebody is working in Mombasa and he's a voter in Kakamega. He went home, he traveled last time, Miriam, using a lot of money. Who will give the same person money to go and vote? Miriam, the same person who traveled to Kakamega from Mombasa wanted to vote for Raila Odinga and Kiloba's Malala. Tell me he has voted for Raila Odinga or wanted to vote for William Ruto and Kiloba's Malala. He has voted for William Ruto. How is he going to manage back to go? He will not go because there is nothing. People are sleeping angry, Miriam. And how many people will come out? I was telling somebody, there will be a real photo apathy on these elections today compared to the ones that were supposed to be done at that time. Now, Miriam, I hope if there are no punitive punishments to IEBC or what is happening, or our law is properly. Because if I was Malala and the other people, Miriam, we could have asked IEBC to compensate us for this money which they have used. Remember, Miriam, before they postponed this election, they had their own agents. You've paid your agents, Miriam. You've paid your chief campaigners. Your chief campaigners, maybe you would come together like in Nakuru County, Miriam, for this seat of Rongai. Susan Kiga, who is the governor-elect, and another politicians, had a joint campaign, running all the joint campaign. Now, Miriam, you've been elected to be sworn in as a governor. How you think you'll still get your money to go and support your colleague? So it is actually bad, and in future we need to have we need to review our constitution. We need to have some punitive measures, Miriam, that we will not leave the IEBC or other commissions, Miriam, to go scot-free. Miriam, it is when my brother Douglas was talking about Chris. You see, last time Cherera said we went there, but we found that this ballot process has been sealed. Miriam, and then why were they going there? They were being taken care there, Miriam, for a PR. And if I was Cherera at that time that I landed this country at KKIA, I could have even signed and say, whatever we were going to see in Greece, it did not happen. So I cannot, but part and parcel of the people who will be running these campaigns have stepped down. Now, Miriam, she's coming home when some few minutes to the some minutes to the announcement of the election. Rafael Tuju have told us, and even Chebukati, that where they met all of that. If she was a woman of integrity, and I don't want to say that she's not a woman of integrity, if this commission has actually had an integrity, if it was true, I could have come out and say, oh, fine, I cannot participate on this. Like I'm running away. My conscience, my integrity cannot allow me to supervise elections which have been compromised, from printing, from hiring clerks, from processing. But what is it, Miriam, in this country of ours? People are dishonest. People are hypocrite. Number one, Miriam, when you come to Nakuru politics, and I want to tell you what is happening. Today is on Monday, and we are expecting to see matatus around. I don't know what has happened. I have not gone through the CBD to see, but the Asolas were actually promised that immediately, not even in 100 days, immediately I'm sworn in. Like the way William Ruto cheated us, that after 9, he's going actually, after 9 we are through with 40, he's going to sign an executive order. How are you going to sign an executive order and yet you have not been sworn in? Miriam, there is a lot of dishonest, there is a political conmanship in this country, Miriam. So what I want to say is this: we are dishonest to the people, and it is not a new thing in this country, Miriam, that people are promising things which they cannot be delivered. Miriam, I don't want to speak so much on Rongai politics, but whatever the Raymond Moy has done in Rongai, Miriam, people are so much grateful to him. In fact, this is the man who has done a lot of things in this Rongai. And I assure you, I'm not sure, but he might come back. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Jevan Karanja. After all the dust has settled, IEBC, do you think perhaps they should be probed into what necessitated the mix-up of all these places that did not have the elections on 9th, including the 2 counties that are having the elections today? This is the first time that this has happened.
Yeah, sure, Miriam. We need to have an assessment to know what really transpired on the eve of the election that made it impossible to have elections for gubernatorial seats conducted in Mombasa and Kakamega. And I think this is for the first time, as you have said, since the inception of the new constitution, since 2013 and 2017, we have not seen these kind of scenarios. Therefore, I don't really understand what really was happening in IEBC. And I think it's high time as Kenyans, we hold the leaders of our independent commissions accountable for the mistake that they make and for the work that they are mandated to do by the constitution and by the people of Kenya. These people are in office. They owe us an explanation on what was happening. Where did the mixture come from? Because what I know, the packaging of these materials is done in a way that is very difficult to mix up anything, any of this ballot paper. They are printed in a very arranged, in a well-organized systems. So I don't know where the repackaging part of it brought all this mixture. And why Mombasa and Kakamega? Why did we have like half of the country having a mixture if it was really a big mistake as they want to claim? Why only 2 counties? If it was a major mistake that happened, maybe we could be having errors in the ballot papers. Maybe we could be having mixed ballot papers, but that didn't happen in other counties. Therefore, we need to understand, after all is done and after the dust settles, as you have said, we need IEBC, all Kenyans and the people of this great nation an explanation and to tell us whether they were really up to task. And if they are the one who made this mistake deliberately, then they should not be spared. They need to go in committee and serve their sentence for misbehaving and failing in their mandate. Thank you.
Okay. And the same story on page 4 and of the Daily Nation, and President-elect William Ruto yesterday assured residents of the Western region that he will keep his word to ANC boss Musalia Mudavadi and Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula to have them as Prime Cabinet Secretary and National Assembly Speaker, respectively. In his first visit to Bungoma, which flipped in his favor in the August 9th general election, Dr. Ruto said he was eternally grateful to the county residents whom he said helped Kenya Kwanza usher in dispensation in terms of voting in the presidential race. At the same time, Dr. Ruto lauded the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, particularly its chairman, Wafula Chebukati, for delivering what he termed as a free, fair, credible, and transparent election. Never mind his win is being challenged in the courts, Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. I believe that for William Ruto to tell Bungoma residents that he's going to keep his word to Musalia Mudavadi is a public gimmick to manage the expectations of Bungoma residents. If he's really committed to giving Musalia Mudavadi what he promised, we would have started to see the signs of that. But there's no sign of him honoring what he told Musalia Mudavadi. Actually, Musalia Mudavadi has been duped to change even his social media handles, calling himself Prime Cabinet Secretary, an non-existent position that they thought he is going to get. And at the end of the day, Miriam, political promises until they are delivered remain political promises. For William Ruto to claim that my political promise to Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, that this promise is going to be taken into account, is that for him and for us to be able to say that promises made, promises kept, he should have made him cabinet secretary yesterday and say that this and this and this after I'm sworn in and all that. That was kind of a Rayman and a roadside declaration or a lie that he was trying to pander to the people. But also from my end, I want to also agree with people who are expecting William Ruto to keep his promise to Musalia Mudavadi. William Ruto has no history of keeping such promises, so I'm waiting to see why is he going to make sure that he honors that promise and also make him the prime cabinet secretary in a position that is non-existent, and now that they even fought BBI. Another aspect is that you cannot congratulate Mr. Wafula Chebukati with the kind of allegations that are flying right, left, center, and William Ruto is not even committing his word to the same. The commissioners are writing sworn affidavits to the Supreme Court, and to make sure that in the end, these affidavits are coming from people with right minds, people that can even be cross-examined in a court of law, in the Supreme Court of the land. And Mr. William Ruto just behaves as if there's no court case there. And William Ruto, when he was giving his response to the courts, all the 10 points were written to brush off, banish the case that has been lodged by, or the petition that has been lodged by the former Prime Minister, Mr. Raila Odinga. And William, for you as a deputy president who is outgoing and the purported president-elect, remember when it rains, it pours. Because I have checked even the 10 points that he has been able to deliver to the courts. Every right-minded judge can see the kind of pride that William Ruto has been able to express himself in, and even the confidence that he's moving around, chest thumping around, and assuring the people that he's going to clinch the seat of the president and that he won free and fairly. But when we can see that this election was not free,
Okay, apologies for that. We've suffered a bit of a technical hitch from Douglas Kirimi's part, but once he's able to rectify that, we'll have him back in. Kiptanui Savania. Douglas has reminded us there, this position being promised to ANC leader, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, is not even in the Constitution. And remember, that was some of the things that a BBI sought to have as far as expanded executive is concerned. So how do you see this working out?
Miriam, it was a tool of wooing voters in Western. That is the correct word. Miriam, there is something which my brother Douglas was actually stating before the technical inch, and I want to pick from there. Miriam, you have a case in Supreme Court. Even your certificate has been taken there as an evidence that actually you are given as a certificate. You are running up and down, telling people, "Thank you so much, you voted for us. Thank you so much, you voted to send these people away." Regarding Gachagua is also this in Central Province, telling people, "Thank you so much, you voted for us so that we chased away the family of Kenyatta."
And you don't have a certificate to support your win.
and you don't have a certificate to support you. I was acting with somebody in another, we have a WhatsApp group. It was so fire that he said, where is the certificate? Let us ask William Ruto, where is the certificate? Certificate is in Supreme Court. Miriam, do you know the reason? The reason is that this is a marriage which has failed. And I told you the other time that Chebukati and I was illustrating something in this Miriam, the marriage has failed. Miriam, one of the couples in this marriage is saying, tunakaa tu kwa sababu ya watoto. There is a problem. You see, the most problem with my brother William Ruto is a great dishonest. A dishonesty of the highest order. You know, Miriam, Christian principles and teachings. Miriam, I don't know whether it defines me alone because I'm an Seventh-day Adventist or what. Because it does not allow us to actually be Pharisees. We are telling people do this and this, and we are telling in the altar. Miriam, we are back to the times before even Jesus was born, when people were so hypocrites, when Pharisees were so hypocrites, when all things were happening. Miriam, now Jesus has been born. There are a lot of things around. Miriam, if I was these people, the way Dr. David said one time in this television, that I could have tell people, my people, you've really voted for us. We thank God for that. As we are waiting for the Supreme Court, blah, 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 we will respect the decision from there. If the decision will say we are coming back, we will still come back to you. So pray for us. I don't have anything to say. Miriam, even for a blind, even for a grade 6 people will tell you that these things are not right. Things are not right. You see, it has taken, this politics of this country, Miriam, has taken a center stage where we glorify thieves. We glorify people who have messed up this country by standing in front of, I don't know if this is what we call a horizontal kind of gospel, Miriam, where people have only thought that when you invest, we go to, there is no longer people going to heaven. I don't know whether you people are watching these things in these televisions. Miriam, recently, for the last 4 days, Nakuru County, and I don't know why this prophets or so-called people are coming to this Nakuru city. Instead, I think you saw on your television somebody from, I don't know from where, when I was coming yesterday and the previous day on a matatu, somebody was where we used to go with 30 shillings, we could pay 50 shillings because there is a prophet somewhere who has just come to take all our sins, not sins, all our problems, poverty, diseases, and the same we saw Dr. Awar when he came to this house. So there is a misconception, Miriam, on religion. And I don't want to speak so much because in the evening, we'll be having a Twitter space, I think you've seen, talking about this religion. But I want to hammer it right now, that we are dishonest. Miriam, I want to tell our viewers who might not be understanding what is happening in this country, that it is actually, the elections have been contested. And when the elections have been contested, you are supposed to wait until you are cleared the way Uhuru Kenyatta waited in 2013, and William Ruto was there as deputy. They waited in 2017, and they came to people that we are still waiting. And when the elections were nullified, they came back to the people. They were voted in, and they were sworn in according to these procedures. So if you tell them, if you say, if you sit down somewhere and tell people, even if you kiss water, we only need exactly. So after you've been sworn in, what will happen? So you are supposed to be handed over the power. Is it not what is happening? Which country are we living in? Why are we living with people who are brokers? If Kashawa does not know that even after being sworn in, you are handed over the sword by the sitting president as a sign of power, maybe he's also a stupid man. Maybe he doesn't know these things because he has never read these things or what is happening in this country media. So it is dishonest. I don't expect William Ruto to stoop so low, so that what will happen if tomorrow Supreme Court, after finding out that these elections were marked by electoral go back to the ballot, or it finds that, well, let us go to recount. When we recount, Raila Odinga is above. What will happen? Will you go back to the cells? What will you go back to the people and tell them? Maybe you will go back to tell them, now they have stolen from us our victory, let us demonstrate, let us kill each other. It is so shame.
Okay. Very well, Kiptanui Asavanya. So this Prime Cabinet Secretary position, Jevan Karanja, that Kenya Kwanza has promised ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi. I don't know if that is the same position that Matiang'i seems to be having now in Uhuru Kenyatta's cabinet, that they didn't even like, they really oppose. And it's not really in the constitution. And the Matiang'i one, I think it's different. I think as we refer to him as the super CS, he gets to coordinate and do all that stuff that we've been seeing him doing. But this position, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, is not even in our constitution. So how do you see this working out here? Is it only being used as a bait, as we know Kakamega is going to its elections today, and Kakamega, yeah. So what do you make of it?
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And we're in a political season, and a lot happens. And I can tell you for sure, if William Ruto happens to become the president, Musalia Mudavadi will be appointed as CS like any other CS. What we'll do is just be the overall chair of the cabinet secretaries. That is a position they are giving all that big titles, whatever cabinet, the chief executive, prime minister. It's just a decoration of a CS. There's nothing much. In politics, you can decorate something small to a point that if everyone else would think it's a giant monster that is in the house, but just a small housefly. Therefore, this is just a CS position, decorated and given some colors here and there and small polish, but nothing big, because at the end of the day, we don't have that position in our constitution. And if they were willing to have that position enshrined in our constitution, they could have supported the BBI that was promising the position of prime minister and 2 deputies. Therefore, at the end of the day, Miriam, there's nothing big in this position. Cleophas Malala was using this thing of Mudavadi becoming the prime minister just to get votes in Kakamega. There's nothing much in this position, because at the end of the day, Musalia Mudavadi didn't deliver anything. He delivered something so small, even compared to what Wetangula brought on table. Wetangula brought more members of parliament, brought a governor, a senator. He has outsmarted Mudavadi. Therefore, if there was something to be given to the Luhya community in terms of numbers in Kenya Kwanza, it should go to one Moses Wetangula, but not to Musalia Mudavadi. Therefore, at the end of the day, Miriam, we must distinguish politics and what is happening on the ground. Because if you didn't deliver, Miriam, like Musalia Mudavadi, what is he expecting to get on the table? And I will not be surprised if William Ruto shortchanges him at the close of business, because this man didn't deliver. And I think, Miriam, all said and done, this is the nature of our politics. Promises are made in the top of car roofs, but at the end of the day, they remain promises until they are implemented or they are executed. There's nothing much happening in this. This is just the nature of our politics. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. Douglas, sorry, we had a bit of a technical hitch there earlier, so would you like to conclude your thoughts, and then we will end the show, but we will not take too long. We shall be back, and we will continue with what transpired yesterday, what Tuju said and all that, because we have a show for that at 11. So Douglas, conclude your thoughts. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Miriam. I want to agree with Jevan and my friend Kiptanui Savenia. We cannot wake up today and claim that a victory that has been challenged in a court of law, that we can be able now to dish out these positions and all that. What I saw when I saw William Ruto in Bungoma yesterday, that was a veiled campaign trip that he had taken to Bungoma. That was not a celebration that he had held there, because the people were mobilized. People came out of their way to listen to William Ruto promising Musalia Mudavadi to give him something, just in case he makes a government, and just in case he takes the speaker's post and gives it to Moses Masika Wetangula. Why did he not do that in Vihiga or in Mururu village where Musalia Mudavadi comes from? That was a campaign, just in case there is a rerun from this case that is at the Supreme Court, that William Ruto, would come and tell them, see, I told you people that I'll give you this huge position of a prime cabinet secretary, that I rejected through BBI, but I think I can be able to bring it somehow, somewhere. I can be able to maneuver the law and also bring a big position for your man, Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi. But at the end of the day, Miriam, this kind of political hypocrisy is what we need to stop, and also this kind of political intolerance is what we should be able to stop. William Ruto spent millions of dollars to decampaign BBI, but he's using the same BBI to rally different communities and their leaders just in case there is a rerun, so that he can tell them, at least your people are going to get this and this in my government. You are represented in my government. In politics, we have to also let William Ruto know that he has had his day and ours is coming at the Supreme Court. And remember, when I say ours is coming at the Supreme Court, I'm not talking about myself necessarily. I'm talking about millions of Kenyans who walk to vote for Raila Odinga. I'm talking about the Prime Minister Raila Odinga. I'm talking about people who support Azimio or Umoja, different cabinet secretaries and government officials, people that depend on a just, trustworthy, and transparent government, so that they can be able to take care of their children, take them to school, educate their siblings, and also take care of their community needs. When I talk about our day is coming, I'm talking about the downtrodden that cannot be able to speak, that do not have an opportunity to appear on a television on a morning and tell William Ruto off that this campaign for a rerun, please wait. You have had your day, theirs is coming also. And remember, at the end of the day, we had an opportunity to conduct a free, fair, transparent, verifiable, and democratic election, but we did not do that. What we conducted is a sham, a stolen, bungled, and also a mismanaged election where we lost billions of dollars from taxpayers and donor funding to conduct an election to declare one person a president. But in the end, I'll use the words of Raila Odinga. If I know the truth, I'm ready to go home. Even the supporters of Raila Odinga and others who want justice, who want free and fair elections in this country. If the truth comes out truly that there was no electoral malpractices and all that, we shall know that electoral justice has started in this election, Miriam, and we shall know that the truth is that William Ruto won free and fair, and he shall have his 5 years without interruption, and then everyone goes home, including the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister. But at the end of the day, Miriam, we need to also bring to book these people. I have read the analysis from the forensic analysis report from the DCI. It's a damning report that is going to send these commissioners to prison. People have taken bribes. People have given foreigners access to our servers, IEBC servers. Remember, security level 5 installations such as State House, National Assembly, Senate, and also IEBC. These are security level 5 installations in this country. These are national security installations. If they are touched, we have touched the national security of our nation, of our country. All the shenanigans we are seeing, people dragging the VCDF of the Kenya Defense Forces, the police chief, Hilary Mutyambai, and also people that are concerned about patriotic Kenyans who are concerned about this country. They knew that this election, the rot that is within IEBC, if it is going to be exposed, the underbelly of IEBC is going to be too much for these people to handle. But they chose the path of the court where everyone is flying with an affidavit from one side to another, where we shall now be able to create a new path for electoral justices in this country, such that we cannot walk into the future with a man with a mission of stealing an election without campaigning, without asking for votes in the right way. You cannot bribe your way every other time, Miriam, including the police officers who take bribes on the road. They tell you, you've bribed us enough times. It's about time we arrested you so that you can take care of your vehicle. If you come another time, maybe we can be able to have a conversation, but it's about time you also fixed your vehicle. It's not about bribes every day. For us as a country, an opportunity has arrived for us to take this country forward by inculcating electoral justice into our system, such that I don't have to fear when I become a presidential candidate in future, or my son or my wife, that I have to come to the fore, offer myself to the people of Kenya, and achieve the very objective that took me there. And I believe that from this perspective and from where I sit, that this election is going to set the precedence for electoral justice in our own country. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. As I said, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we shall continue with the conversation and look at the latest as far as this IEBC saga is concerned. Don't go too far. This is Good Morning Africa. Good morning.